Hello, Ron Briggs, Blackmore, Vale Honey, and welcome back to the channel. So this is May part 2. Been a busy month so far, and looking at the diary, it doesn't look like it's going to let up. So without further ado, welcome back to May. Let's get on with it. Firstly, just a little update on the warming cabinet. I'm really impressed with that. That's just a great piece of equipment. But what it's also useful for, because what I've had is I had 3 little tubs of cappings honey. You know, when you uncap it, and the honey, which from now on will be going into there, and so we obviously don't lose that. And I usually keep that for myself. So I had 3 tubs that I hadn't got around to doing, so I thought I'd get those sorted. So they weren't massive, so all 3 tubs into the warming cabinet, but because they were cappings, they needed filtering again as well. So we did them one at a time, filtered them all, put them into jars. But if you have got a warming cabinet, top tip, turn it down, but leave it on a bit longer, because once you've poured all your stuff through your sieves and your buckets and you've washed them and everything else, this makes an absolute great place for drying it all, especially when it comes to the sieves. You know how difficult they are to dry. So yeah, just chuck it all in there afterwards and then turn it off. Once it's all in there, turn it off and it just dries it all up for you. We'll put that away later. And the other thing is, I'm getting used to this now. This has been really good, nice and easy to clean. However, top tip, when you put it back together, make sure you put that in the right way around. Plunger goes in first, because I'd put it in the wrong way around, and the moment I poured the first lot of honey in the top, so it all started pouring out the spout. So we had sticky honey everywhere. So that was my fault, put it back together wrong, what an absolute muppet. But yeah, so we've cleaned that up and got that sorted, but that was an extra hour that I could have done without. And I said it wasn't much, that's what's come out of those 3 buckets. And I've kept them all separate as well, because one of them was from spring last year, which is that one, which is, I'm pretty sure, is going to be set honey. And the other 2 will probably be running, but these are just for us anyway. We've completely run out ourselves. So that's what we've done this morning. So let's get on with the rest of the day. Hey, 8th of May, and I'm out tomorrow, so I probably won't do any recording tomorrow. It's Happy VE Day for tomorrow. Got a bit of a celebration this afternoon, which I'm looking forward to. But let's see if we can get these girls done. We're in the out Apiary, as you can see. The weather is 14 degrees. When that sun breaks through, it's lovely. When it goes behind the cloud, it's a little bit chilly, but all the girls are flying. We've been and had a look at that. So just straightforward inspection. So I'm not going to record everything, because we had a really good inspection last week. But it's been 8 days since we last inspected. And if there's anything of interest, then I will record it. But what I am doing today, which I will record some of, is we are doing Varroa checks. I'm a bit late starting. I've normally started a couple of weeks ago. So what I like to do is check all my girls once a month at least for Varroa, because we're trying to, in the process of selecting these queens, we're also looking for Varroa resistant. So way I check Varroa is well, there's a number of ways you can check. You can just do your mite drop, which is putting your Varroa boards in the bottom and checking. I don't like that. I don't find that accurate compared to other methods that I've used. So it does give you a really, really basic idea of what your Varroa is like, but I don't think it's that good. So there's 2 options that I use. One is I use sugar rolling, which I'm going to use today, and I'll show you. And that's just simply you put a cup of bees into a pot with like Varroa mesh on the top, and then you pour in some caster sugar, so a little bit of caster sugar, not much. Oh, it says spilling it all over the place. So again, about that much caster sugar, maybe 1 or 2 of those. You put that in, you shake them around, you leave them for a bit. So if you're doing an inspection, I'll show you. You put them in, leave them in there whilst you're doing the inspection, and then after you've rolled them around in that, you then just shake them, shake the powder off into what helps is a white bowl, like that. Put a drop of water in the bottom, all the sugar dissolves, leaving just the mites to see. Much easier to check than trying to go through all the debris on the bottom of a Varroa floor, and also I think much more accurate. So we do that throughout the year, and then at the end of the year we do an actual alcohol check, which is it's what I think of a colony of bees as a person, and if you're having anything checked, a biopsy or something like that, they'll take a little bit of you away to check. And I think that's what it's like with Varroa. So the sugar rolling will quite clearly upset them a little bit, but it doesn't kill them, because once we've finished, we put those bees back on, and all their sisters will come along and clean them all up, and they don't actually die, just get a bit stressed. But the other way, the alcohol wash actually kills them. But actually, when I did some experimenting last year, and the sugar rolling was far more accurate than the actual the checking on the Varroa floors, and the actual alcohol was even more accurate. We were getting more out of that because we were trying we tried each in the same colony to see what the numbers were. So I do use the alcohol, but I use it once, and I use it at the end of the season before we go into the winter, just to see where they're at before we think about Varroa treatments. So yeah, so sugar rolling I'm doing today. Right, so that's it for today, so let's get on with it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, this is that colony which we're just not sure about whether it's going to be, what its temperament's going to be like. So because up here, you can see there's, even when they're working on the farm, when they're doing the shoots, they miss this area completely, or they don't walk past this area. And when they're actually working it, when he drives past in his tractor, he shuts his windows. So up here, if a colony does get a bit spicy, it doesn't matter. I've got time to sort it out. So that colony that we brought up from the home apiary, no, so it wasn't the new apiary, wasn't it? This is that swarm we got, and they were pinging me to start with, and they were just in my face, and I don't like that. So we brought them up here. We'll see how they progress, and if they get shitty, then we can requeen them. Nice big box of bees, mind. Okay, so we're going to do this Varroa check, checking for our numbers. So the first thing we need to do is get a cup full of bees. So the way we do that is we just shake some bees into here to start with. Well, I've checked the frame. I know what frame Queen is on. Just double check. Demonstrate to you. There she is. She's on that frame. So we won't shake that frame because we don't want to get her involved. One more frame. That'll do. And all I've got to do is, I've got my jar ready, got my scoop ready. The easiest way to do it is just to bang the container down. We scoop up a cup full of bees, which we've got. We tip them in there, and then before they get out, we can put the lid back on. And then to avoid any more stress, let's get rid of them. And get rid of those back in the hive. Sorted. Get you on top there now, nicely. That's it. So we've got a cup of bees, simple as that. Right, so the next thing we've got to do is we've got to get some of our icing sugar. And then it's one scoop. This is just what I got left over from last year, and it's a bit lumpy. But that'll be all right. So we'll squish that all in there. Now, can you see how the bees are all covered Now what we do, we don't want anything now to come out of the end of this. So we're just rolling them, getting them all covered in flour. And then whilst they're still kicking around in that, we can close this colony back up again. Now you want your pot nice and clean, because what we're going to do now is we're going to just put a bit of water into the bottom of the, and why it's best, it's easier to see. Just covering the bottom. And then all we're going to do then is we just shake this out over that water. That'll do it. And that's it. You saw that. And now all I'm going to do is just release these girls back into here, and their sisters will, or their sisters will clean them all up then. Ghost bees. Now, don't be tempted to use that pot again, because there may be the odd Varroa left in there. And then all we got to do is count the Varroa. So I'm looking at one Varroa. That's quite cool. So one Varroa in there, that's all there is. So that's not bad, is it? We like that. And now before I use that, I'm going to wipe that out and clean it again. But let's get this hive back together now. Right, so we've just done this mite drop from the second colony. The last one I told you there was one. This one there's three. You can see there's one there, and one over there. So three. That's not bad. I'll tell you how we work the numbers out later. Okay, so let's talk about those mite drop numbers. So that's what these numbers are all about. Because the Varroa levels will go up and down throughout the year at a similar rate as the bee numbers go up and down. So obviously in the winter there's a lot less bees than what there are in the peak. So the number of Varroa in there are different, so depending on the numbers is how we treat. So I'll just leave those numbers there for a minute. Okay, so going back to what we did then with our Varroa checks, we had one hive which had 3 Varroa and the one hive which only had 1 Varroa. So let's take the one to start with. So 1 Varroa, we're in May. May to August there, so we times 1 by 30 gives us a Varroa count of 30. All right, and the one that had 3 Varroa in it, obviously we times it by 3 and it gives us 90. That's absolutely fine. We only need to worry about it is if it becomes 1,000. So if it becomes 1,000 plus, sad face, that means we need to do something about it and treat. So those same Varroa drop numbers, if that was later in the year, between November and February, for example, so the hive that had the drop of 3, that would have been a daily mite drop of 1,200. Yeah, the 3 times 400. So that would have needed treating. All right, so that's the numbers. But what's significant for me? Okay, so from a beekeeper point of view, that's your daily mite drop numbers. So you keep an eye on your numbers and you know whether to treat or not. But from a queen rearing point of view, as I've said before, I'm selecting the most hygienic queens in order to breed from. So I want to get some percentages. So percentage is really quite simple. All we need to do is, so to get a percentage then, so let's have a look at the hive that had 3 mites in it. So I've got 3 mites. I times that by 100, it's 300. Yeah, and then I divide that by the number of bees, which was 300. So 300 divided by 300 equals 1%. So that's a 1% mite drop in that hive. And if we do the other one, it was 1 mite times 100 equals 100. Divide that by the 300 bees, and that equals 0.33%. So really low numbers. So here we are then, it's the 12th of May. Really busy weekend. We've been on the bees, we've been up to the apiary on Saturday, the association apiary, making frames up and things like that, because we'd completely run out. Because what we normally do for the students is if we have a wet weather afternoon, we get them to make up frames. But the weather's been glorious this year, so we haven't had a chance to do that. So a few of us went up on Saturday and done that. And it was, we were on the beginners course Saturday afternoon. And then yesterday I had a load of beekeepers, again from the association. I hosted a tea party apiary visit. And that was really good, just an afternoon, sat around drinking tea, talking bees, which was wonderful. So, and we're just off up to the new apiary now to see what's going on in that apiary. But before I went up there, I just want to show you this. I don't know if I don't think I have, because I always seem to run out of time on the videos. But I also keep mason bees. I say keep mason bees, I don't really keep them, they do their own thing really. But I can sit for hours and watch these, here they come. So what they do is, in those tubes, they pack in a bit of mud to start with, and then they'll put in an egg, and then pollen, then mud, then egg, then pollen, and they fill up the straw, and there's room in these straws for about 7. The front 3 are boys, and the rear 4 or thereabouts are girls. The boys come out first and hang around the front, ready to mate with the girls, and then the girls go off. But you can see every single one of these that have got the mud on the end of them are all full. There's only a few left. So you see this, see it turn around? I think, I'm not an expert on these, I've only had them a couple of years, but I think what they do, they go in first to check where it's at. A bit like the queen would check. And then she'll come out, turn around, go in and lay the egg and the pollen, and then go and get some mud. And then all I do at the end of the year, you see, or at the end of the season, is I take the straw out, open it up, remove all the cocoons, because otherwise they can rot, the flies can get them, or the woodpeckers love it. So remove the cocoons, you wash them, put them in your fridge in a like a Indian takeaway container, piss, few holes at the top, bit of damp, kitchen roll in the bottom of it, leave them in the fridge. And then the following season, whenever you're ready, when the weather looks like it's going to be good, you take a load of those cocoons. You don't have to take all of them, you can stagger it if you want to watch the masons longer. But you take a load of cocoons and you just put in the top here is a release where they get released. So then they come out of there once they've hatched, and away they go again. Better pollinators than honeybees, but obviously honeybees win because just by the sheer numbers of them. Again, it's another thing I could sit and watch all day, but we've got work to do, so let's get out to the apiary. So yeah, here we are up at the new apiary. A few things we need to do today. That little one on the end there, that has been inspected for 2 weeks. That was that one which was really weak, and we merged it with another kind of weak one. So I'll be interested to see what's going on in there now. The camouflage one we've not inspected for 2 weeks. That was also a merge, but that was the colony that was a split from the out apiary, and it was just a little bit followy, a little bit spicy, not completely happy with it. So we've merged it with that small one. Hopefully that's sorted itself out. Then the bigger green one was that huge swarm I've got. Those two, haven't inspected those for 2 weeks. This one we inspected last week, and I've been really impressed with that. It's growing massively, and they're quite gentle. So if that's a calm colony again and everything's okay, then I'm considering having a little look, see what the daughters will be like. So we'll maybe do a damery and take a couple of nukes from it just to see how that goes. But I thought, well, I don't need to bring the kit up because I've already got a spare hive up there already, and I could use that if I want to do a damery. However, we've obviously caught a swarm in there. That's another one. So you can see they're going in the side. I didn't even put the box down right. They're going in the side and the front. So that'd be interesting. God knows how long they've been there. maximum a week because we came up a week ago. But yeah, we'll get in that one as well, see what's going on. Right, let's get a smoker lit. Okay, so we have caught ourselves a little swarm in here. First of all, before we do anything else, let's straighten you up. Hello, girls. Wow. They've been in here for a few days because they're storing nectar. Storing nectar. They've drawn comb, storing nectar. Drawn it on that side as well. They seem calm enough. There's Queen Eel. She looks big. She's mated. She's a mated queen as well. So I reckon this was a little cast swarm that's arrived, and probably after I did my last inspection. In there we have a queen. We've got eggs, so she's a mated queen. But she's a nice looking girl as well. See if you can see her. Okay, so that's quite cool. They seem nice and gentle. Oh, I don't know, in my face. What are you doing? Just protecting your mama. So, that's very nice. And they've drawn that out as well with nectar. Okay, girls, you can stay. You got a free pass. You came to see us. You can stay. So what we need to do with you then is... Oh, that's a half frame. At the back there, we don't want you on that too long, so we'll move that back. Let's get you a couple of frames, shall we? They're only on one frame of brood at the moment, but they are pulling out the other frames either side like Billio. So all I've done is I've moved one of them that was in here, left in here, was only a super frame, so we've just pulled that back, so it had some stores in it. I've given two nice new frames to go in there. We've got the dummy board to dummy it down, so we'll let it grow slowly. We'll look at next week, and then two more frames ready to go on next week. So that's it. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into this one then. So I did check that one behind me. I was going to do it last, the swarm. I've just checked it because I suddenly thought if it was just some robbing or something like that going on, then we could still use the box. Because like I said, if this colony is as calm as it was the last couple of weeks, this was the swarm, I'll be very, very interested to see what the daughters are like. Because so far I'm liking it. I need to do a Varroa count as well on it, a Varroa, see what it's like for Varroa, but we've only just treated it. Okay, so let's see what the weight is in here. Oh yeah, that's got a bit of weight in it. Oh, that's got some weight in it as well. We'll put that on there. Right. And as I think I've said to you before, the reason I do that, because it's a brood and a half, the queen, she's obviously in here, or she's in here. It can only be one or the other. So if we go through this box first, and we see eggs and everything else and we're happy, then we can just put that box straight on top. But if we're specifically finding the queen, not that we are today, because even if we do damery, we're only going to be putting an empty box on for them to start laying up. So I don't need to find her today. Out of the way. Out of the way. Good. Right. Well, you can see, but they're not in my face. They are still nice and calm. Right. Dummy board out. Doors there. There she is. Try and spot the queen again. That's nice. Yeah, okay. So on there then we are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 frames of brood in the bottom. Now what I am going to do actually, right, so normal inspection, that's it, seen enough, haven't I? I've seen queen, I've seen eggs, and I haven't seen queen cells. So I'd be quite happy now on a normal inspection, just to put that on top of there, life's good. Especially if the colony is a little bit spicy, because all your spicy girls are going to be at the front here, aren't they? Because all your foragers are going to come back and they're going to be on this front board. So the sooner you get this box back on, it should calm your colony down. Not that these girls need it. So you've got 2 choices now. You've seen your queen. You can inspect this box and you won't risk crushing her because you know she's in there. So that's okay. But the reason I'm not going to put it back on there at the moment is I want to... Now I know she's not in there, I'm now thinking damery, and if there isn't much brood in here, then I shall put the queen excluder on top and put this box above the queen excluder. Because that way, queen can't get in. If there's a little bit of brood, I'm not too bothered about that, but I can keep it to the new box I'm about to put on. So what we shall do is, we shall put the whole thing back on. God, this box is heavy. Right above the queen excluder. This is a lot of stores in here. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to put that back on there. I can tell this box is mainly stores. So we'll put that on there like that. And I will have a quick look through it. But now all I've got to do when I come back later, because I'll bring a box for this one, is I've literally just got to stack the boxes, put a new box underneath on the bottom, swap some frames about. Yeah, let's look at that. So we can harvest this, because there's been no brood in it. We know they're in because we put this box on. Look at that, stores. And we will be harvesting within a couple of weeks. Stores and queue. Might see a bit of brood now because it's where the brood nest started below. No, stores and a bit of pollen. Yep, no brood in there, that's good. Okay, there is eggs in there and quite a few play cups, but that's okay because we won't take that frame with us when we extract. We'll put that one back in the heart after we've finished our damery. We'll put that one back in. There's no eggs in there though, just pollen. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, girls, thank you so much. And the last one. Right. Let's get you back together then. Yep, so it's as I thought, as of last week. This colony is nice. It's a nice colony. If you remember, that was that first big swarm of the season we shook out the tree. And it's just grown massively ever since. So we got two supers on. One's rammed full of honey and the other one I'd say is probably 50%. So normally I'd be putting another super on now, but I'm not going to, because they have been so calm and gentle, these girls, that I want to see what their daughters are like. I want to see what she mates like. So I'm going to turn this into a damery. So the first part of the damery is to make sure everything's good, which it is. So you want a box that's fully stuffed with bees, with 2 supers, which is exactly what we've got. So what we're going to do is, all we're going to do to start with is we're going to bring another brood box up, and we're literally going to put it on the bottom. Yeah, so underneath this. But what we'll do is we'll take a couple of the brood frames from here and we'll drop them below, and we'll puppy pot it just to encourage her to go over both boxes. And then in a week or so's time, when this box is rammed, then I can show you the next part of the damery. So no, so really pleased with that. Good inspection. So here we are then at a friend of mine's apiary, who also happens to be a beekeeper. And what's happened here is we've got a colony's gone a little bit spicy, but it also got full and had to be split. So now we're going to potentially get 2 not very nice colonies. So what I've done from my place is I've bought a couple of queen cells. We made this one hopelessly queenless last week, didn't we? Thank you. So this one is hopelessly queenless already. So this one's just a simple case of popping a queen cell in. And then the one over there, we removed the queen from. So we've now got to just go through and take all the queen cells down from that one.
That's more than I thought.
Yeah. So all we need to do with this one then is no more than... Did you bring the cocktail sticks? Good. How are we going to do this? Cocktail stick like that, and go through there. Let's not pierce
so
the...
that's a sealed
queen cell.
So that's going to take
in there. No, I'm not happy with that. That's a bit too high. We might end up squishing that. So let's just want to be careful you don't get the queen there.
Exactly.
There we go. That's better. So what we're going to do, we're going to push that down there. Push that back in there. And that's all we need to do with that one.
Yep.
So, working on the numbers.
Yep.
Don't forget, so on Sunday it was 7 days, but these were then ended up becoming emergency cells. So that was going to be from... So Sunday would have really, we can call that, well, they were sealed, so we're going to call that day 9 or 10. Right. So by next week they would have emerged. It's day 16 that they're going to come out. So, and then day 16, then it's about day 22 to day 25 when we should start seeing eggs. So this one should emerge as a virgin in sort of 4 or 5 days time. So if we check this, or if you just check this, and all you have to do, the only thing we're checking for is that queen out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I lift it up.
Lift it up. No, don't. You can do it from the side here. Look. So all you can do is do that.
Right.
And then you can see from the side there whether she's actually come out the end or not.
Oh yeah.
Because you'll see you'll see the end of the cell will be
open.
Yeah. And that's because and the only reason we're going to do that then is because otherwise, if we wait to see if there's eggs and that hasn't come out, we can put some more eggs in and give ourselves another week.
So that's 6 days. I look at that.
Yeah, so that's going to be next Monday or Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, and all we're looking for is that she's come out emerged. Yeah. And then if she has emerged, we're then not going to do anything with that until we're going to give her 2 weeks after that.
And they've got plenty of room.
Yeah, got plenty of room, plenty of stores. And we're going to give her 2 weeks because after she emerges, 6 days for wing muscles to be strong enough to fly.
Right, yeah.
She'll then go and mate on the next warm afternoon. Okay. Right, so assuming that it is warm on the 7th day, she'll go out and mate. But she could mate over 1 or 2 days, depending on how well she mates. Yeah. And then once she has mated, it's 2 days for her to come into lay. So the absolute minimum of her to come into lay is usually about 8 days after she's emerged. So if we check next Tuesday, just to see if she has emerged, and then we'll leave it for 2 weeks.
And then leave it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I mean, even if she has mated by then, she might have only laid a couple of eggs.
Yeah.
You know,
You'll
so
see anything.
yeah. So we're best off waiting.
And they'll just look after and get on with it, won't they?
Yeah, they should do,
don't need anything.
because they're hopelessly queenless.
Yeah.
They're like that. Oh, we got a chance now. We got a queen cell.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yep. So that was the easy one. Right. So we'd leave the lid on this.
Yeah.
And what we can do. So if these do turn really nasty, well, what we'd do is we'd take everything away.
Yeah.
Just anywhere, you know, over 5 meters away.
Yeah.
And then what we'd do, we'd just put a super back on here
there.
whilst we went through it. But we're going to be shaking them all and getting all a bit right. Jesus, go. They're popping and pinging me. Yeah, look at that. That's a hidden. See how they can hide them?
Cool. A hidden queen.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's how they can.
Wow.
Yeah, that could be a queen cell. See, and what we're doing now is I'm deliberately going through this bottom box first, and then I'm going to put that box back on, because the majority of the nasty bees are all going to be at the front, because it's all your foragers.
Right.
Because don't forget, your foragers were your guard bees, so the nurse bees, that instinct doesn't come in.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
cells on there. They're on the bottom.
Yeah, there's one on there as well. Look, I'm going to take that whole lot off the bottom. There's one on there as well. Let's see it. There, look. So you see the need, you know, when people say, you say, oh, did you shake them? No, but I did a really good check. Well, you probably missed a few then.
Yeah.
Especially with a not very nice colony. The temptation is just to go for it quickly, and you don't really fix your problem then.
No.
That's good. Otherwise I wouldn't smoke them this much. Yeah, more on this one. See now these...
They don't like that, yeah.
Well, see now we're getting near these foragers.
Yeah.
No, cool, right. So that's good. That's that box done. It's going down in there like that. It just makes it a bit easier for when you come back to...
Have a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
So same thing, you can see the...
From the side.
Yeah. Can you see it from the side there?
Yeah,
so that's going to be exactly the same thing. We're just going to just check that it's, you know, next week that something has emerged from it.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't, we'll check a few days later.
Yeah.
And then if it still hasn't, then we need to think about putting another frame of eggs or something in there. So here we are, then we're back at the out apiary. I've already done five inspections, nothing of note. Other than it's got really hot, so I'm going to take the opportunity to try out my new cooling vest. First time I've done it, I've got no idea if it's going to work. I've seen reviews on it for the in the motorcycling world. They were under there. Whether it'll work for beekeeping or not, I don't know. But let's give it a go. It's a tech niche. And the idea is you're meant to immerse it in water. It doesn't have to be cold water. And as your body sweats and it evaporates, it's meant to cool it down. So all I've done, I've got my old cool box and I've put it in there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add some water. So you can see I've poured it in there and I've poured a load of water on it. And the idea is that you're meant to just let it soak up all the water. And just soaking it up as well, I ain't left much in there. Right. Okay, so we've soaked that in about, I suppose, half a bottle of water. Seems to be all soaked. Probably some more than others actually. So probably needed a bit more than that. I'll try it just as it is for now. And we'll see how we go on with it. So I don't think I've, oh, it feels cold for sure. I don't think I've submerged it enough. So I don't think I've soaked it all completely. They said you're supposed to have it quite tight. I should have got a medium really. This is large. yeah, it feels quite cold on there. Okay, so let's, what time's that now? 11:15, and then I'll tell you when it stops feeling cold. Let's give it a go. Okay, so I can't remember what time I said I put this jacket on. I think it's 11:15, I think. I'll have to check back over the film. But it's now 12:24, so what if that was right, 11:15, we're talking about an hour and a quarter. And I have to report, it does actually work to a fashion. It kept me distinctively cooler than what it was before. And I don't think I soaked it enough. That's something else you got to do. But yeah, it still, even now, it still feels cool to the touch. I think I could have probably got away with it does leave you a bit damp, but I could have got away with a medium, I think. This was a large. But it's got elastic on the side there. What I might do is just pinch that in and make it a little bit tighter. But yeah, actually, first impression with that, quite impressed actually. So that's going to be getting more outings this year. Right, let's get on. So here we are then down in the new apiary, and the reason we're down here, we've just double checked a colony before it goes out, because it's going out to a customer tomorrow. So all we should do with this is we'll come down this evening after dark, close up the entrance, remove the strap, restrap it, and then that'll be ready to go out to the customer. We'll take it out first thing in the morning. Although nukes, you can leave them a bit longer before they arrive with the customer, or they send them through the post, don't they? So of course you can, although I don't do that. So I raise just enough nukes for my own means, and I don't know, a dozen at the most every year that I have spare that I will, which I will sell on. But what I like to do is I think bees do get stressed when they move. So, well, actually it's proven they get stressed. So what I do is I will take this colony to where it's going in the morning, and all we'll simply do is sit it on the location that they're going to live, the bees, open the front, we'll leave them for 3-4 days, and then I'll go back in 3 or 4 days time, and I will help the new owner to transfer those bees into their full-size hive, because they're ready for a full-size hive. Then that way they can see the brooding stages, they can see the queen, they can see the temperament, they can see absolutely everything. We'll get them moved in the morning. So yeah, so that's what we're doing, and we'll move these girls in the morning. Okay, so here we are then. As I said to you earlier, we're going to this is Lisa. So hello, Lisa. Lisa's the customer for these bees. So what we're going to do first is we'll just quickly go through these, Lisa. I'll find the queen, show you everything's good, because if it's not, I'll take them away. So I don't want to put them in that box, you know. And then if everything's good, then we'll swap them into that box. How's that sound?
Yeah.
I don't normally look for the queen as a rule.
I usually just look for eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
That's why I've always got my glasses on.
But I did want to obviously show you the queen, which is most. Yeah, well, we've got eggs actually. I've not seen eggs yet. Oh, this is probably, you know, that's another full frame of. Girls. So this is certainly ready to go into a full-size box, though, because that's 2 frames there of sealed brood, isn't it? Yeah. And every frame of sealed brood is going to turn into 3 frames of bees.
Is she marked?
There she is. There she is. Can you see her? Yeah, marked and clipped. Right in the middle of the frame.
Oh, I see. There she is.
Yeah, so I forgot to say that. I do mark and clip queens.
No, that's fine. There she is.
So right, so what we'll do is we'll put that in there just for now, just so we know where she is before we go through the rest of it. Now we can go through the rest and find eggs, hopefully.
Give them some space.
Yeah. So yeah, if I give you that frame, and you can have a proper look that we've got brood in all stages. And if you go to the outside edges of that frame, you'll see the Yeah, it's always weird to me how you can, you know, they're white eggs, they're bright white eggs, and you can see them in, you know, in like on yellow new foundation, but you can't see them in black old stuff.
I know. I really struggled. I got to a point where I was taking photos on my phone.
Yeah.
And then, you know, increasing the sort of zooming in.
Yeah.
So that I could tell they were there.
Right.
Oh, she's got loads of eggs in there.
Yeah, and she will properly go for it now. Right, I'm just going to put that at the back there. And what we'll do now is, I'll move this one as well.
Where's it best to put this one?
So that was the brood, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So just slip that one back in there for the moment. So there we are then. So that's that. So the bees are all in there. Everything is as it should be. Lisa's happy, and that's it. So now I'm in a position I can actually part her of her hard-earned money. So, oh, come over here, Lisa. Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Yeah, good. What, 5-star
I'm
rating?
happy. Definitely a 5-star rating.
So when anybody asks me what plants to grow for bees, one of the ones I always recommend is the cotonista. I think that's how you pronounce it. Because at this time of year, I don't know if you can see, it's not just the honeys, but look, all the bumblebees are on it. So I can see 1, 2, 3 different species of bumblebee that I can see on it, plus all the honeybees. So there we are. If you want a recommendation for a plant to grow, cotonista is definitely one of them. Sunday afternoon, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is warm. So yesterday was the beginners beekeeping again for the North Dorset Beekeepers Association. In fact, I filmed a little bit, so have a look at this. So that was yesterday. I do enjoy the beginners course. Just the enthusiasm in new beekeepers is just great. So we're up here today in the new apiary. I'm not going to film everything. It's just going to be weekly inspections. We're at day 6, not day 7, because I'm working tomorrow, and then I'm out all day Tuesday, and I'll probably go up to the out apiary on Wednesday. So I'd rather err on the side of caution and do this on day 6, because there's a couple of boxes I want to look at. I said on the video yesterday that if you're part of an association, you know, the contacts you make and things that come along. So what happened yesterday is one of our members, somebody had to get rid of a load of beekeeping equipment, brand new beekeeping equipment, and we had so it had loads of nuke boxes, both standard nationals and also 14 by 12s. Now at the apiary, the association apiary, we're pretty much just on national. So what they've done is all the 14 by 12s, they've given away to people. So we have got some members that are on 14 by 12, so they're absolutely delighted because there's frames as well. But there's a few boxes left, so I had a couple of them because they make really good bait hives. And as we caught the swarm in that box week before last, I thought we might as well put one up here. So again, no different to any other bait hive. All that's in there, some tatty old comb, a bit of lemongrass oil, and I will squeeze in a bit of that swarm attractant and see how we get on with that. So yeah, and all that was just a small donation to the new apiary fund. Can't go wrong, can you? So that's it. Right, let's get on with these inspections then. So brought you in to have a look at this one. This is it's just one of those problem children. The half was absolutely stuffed. And if you remember, we put this box back on again. They've done nothing in this box, nothing at all. They've not even started to draw any frames out. So they've got no room in the top box, and they've got a whole box here again, it's doing nothing. So I think the only thing we can do is put it back into a nadir again, put that on the bottom, and hope that they do decide to move up. But yeah, you get colonies like this, they don't read the manual, and they just do what they want to do. So let's get these boxes swapped over. Okay, so these girls are they're not happy. They're dwindling in numbers. If you remember, we merged them as well, so they're dwindling in numbers. There is eggs and larvae and everything that should be in there, but hardly any of it, so they're obviously not happy. I've done a Varroa check. The count's fine for Varroa, so it's not that. So I think what we'll do is, I haven't got one in the truck, or I'll do it today, but we'll get a sample of about 50 bees. We'll get that off, and we'll get that checked for Nosema, and see if something like that's going on. And I only want to check that before, because I'm going to requeen this colony or merge it with a colony that's got a queen in it. But before I do that, I just want to check that these girls are not ill in any way at all before I do the merge. So yeah, a bit of a shame, but we might end up merging them with that one. But yeah, okay, let's have a look in that one. Again, a little bit odd. I mean, I know it's only been 6 days since we've been up here, but we gave them the super above the queen excluder because the box was absolutely stuffed. And if you remember, this was a merge between a nice small colony that kind of was just a bit slow, and we've merged her with that colony that was a split from the one which was just getting a little bit spicy. Hence, I think the odd bee still pinging me at the moment. So we did that, but they've done nothing in this middle box. Everything's confined to the bottom, other than move some honey up. But I ain't worried about that. This box is absolutely stuffed, but they've got the opportunity to move up if they want to. So it's just a case of carrying on. Weekly inspections, that's all we can do with that one, but happy. So if you remember, this is this little swarm that we that moved in last week. So it's only been 6 days. It's not grown, but then I wouldn't expect it to, because it's going to take at least 3 weeks for it to see any noticeable size in numbers. Don't forget, she's laid eggs last week, so we have got some capped cells now, but it's going to be at least another week, if not 2, before we see any bees. So she's not going to be laying up massively, because the girls are not going to let her, because the girls have got to look after whatever she lays up. So it'll be a slow build, but we're happy with that. So let's have a look. Yeah, plenty of eggs in there. She's laid this one up. I've still not marked or clipped her yet, and I don't intend to. I'm going to let it go a full brood cycle. They've started to draw this out. This side's been drawn out, and she's laid that up with eggs. So that's quite cool. So what's that, a little bit, half a frame maybe of brood. Yeah, and we've got some capped now and some big fat larvae. So yeah, because do you remember, we weren't sure when they actually moved in. We thought because there was eggs in there, perhaps about 6 days. So we're looking at about 12, 14 days now, I guess, for this colony. Yeah, plenty of eggs and young larvae in that one. So everything's here, it's supposed to be here, which is nice. Eggs on that side. And that's it. And then all we got is, I've got dummy board. So all I've left, so swarms, you know, if the weather turns cold, they've got to keep the box warm, haven't they? So you're better off keeping the box small for them. So rather than put the dummy board where it normally goes, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got 7 frames there. I might even reduce that one actually. 7 frames there with a dummy board to close that up. So the actual area is just this. And then I've got some new frames behind it ready to go in when they start filling it. So no, this is cool. That's a nice little colony. Again, we could just leave this for a couple of weeks now. We don't need to inspect this next week. Maybe just have a little quick look in the top. There she is. She's a nice looker. See if you can spot her. She is running down the top frame there. See, she's here. Beautiful. Keep doing what you do, Mama. So what we're going to do is we won't mark and clip her. We will wait until we've got a good brood cycle round, and then we'll do that. No point upsetting her now. So that's that. Yeah, lovely little colony. So quick update on the cooling vest. Like I said, that first time I used it, I don't think I soaked it enough. So I tried it again yesterday. I was up at the association apiary all afternoon, and I obviously soaked it properly that time. That was really hot yesterday. I was warm for sure, but judging by what everybody else was like by the end of it, definitely this was keeping much cooler. And today I've not even put, all I did was put it in the cool box, left it up here because I'm doing a small inspection this afternoon, and I thought, oh, I'll just put the jacket back on again and see if there's anything left in it, because it was still heavy with water, and yeah, it's still cool. So quite impressed with this. It's definitely doing the job. So I think that was a good purchase. So 20th of May, real buzz of activity around there. Obviously with the this was what was in the observation hive, but again it's got completely stuffed with bees, so I'm not going to keep splitting an observation hive. So we've taken this colony out, we'll take this away. That probably got to the out apiary, and we'll put a new colony in there. What I'm thinking of doing actually is putting a new colony in from a split, so hopefully we'll see a queen cell and we can watch that grow and until she emerges, hopefully. But we've also got the cotonista, which is going as well with all the bumbles in it. So yeah, real buzz things around here. So yeah, so we've got to get this one away. So what we do is we've taken it out of the observation hive, put it in this box, and then I've got two brackets here which lift up, sit it on with the entrance open. All the girls will go in there, and we'll shut it up tonight. Cool. So this month has been absolutely rammed again. I've got so much editing to do. I know I'm not going to get it all into all of this month down into just about an hour's video, so we'll call it a day, and then what we'll do, we'll have a May part 3 for this month. So yeah, so we'll finish it there. May part 2. I will say thanks for watching, hope you're getting something from it, and we'll see you on the next one.